Welcome back to Reality Right After, where the drama never stops, the tea's always piping hot, and the shade is always served ice cold. This week, we're diving into the Married to Medicine reunion, where the husbands might have been on stage, but trust me, the real fireworks were behind the scenes. Simone and Quad went toe to toe in the most heated moment of the season, and let's just say the rest of the ladies, they have also plenty to say. Joining me today to break it all down are one of two of my most favorite people, Katie and Gordon, PR diva and self-proclaimed mess expert. I'm giving you that one. And K King, the one and only reality TV commentator with no chill. They're about to throw some serious shade on these ladies. Tell it like it is. So grab your snacks, grab your drinks, and grab the blunt because Reality Right After starts now. Hi, ladies. How are you?
Hey, Wellington. Hey,
Oh my goodness.
Catherine.
We back.
I know. This is an OG crew today. Every time Chase is on the podcast, he always starts the podcast by saying, go back to the footage so that you can see that I was here from the beginning. So I just want to let the castmates know that Katie and NK were also original hosts of Reality Right After when we first launched our first season. Can you believe that, guys?
Exactly. It seems like it was so long ago, but I'm just very, very proud about where you are now and where you're gonna be going.
Thank you, my love.
The cheerleader. So
no, literally, you guys have seen since the beginning, literally, when we decided when it was just us listening to each other. Now we got thousands of castmates, and they have a lot of opinions, honey. So
we're riding and we're dying.
To the castmates, make sure you are subscribing to the YouTube channel at The Reality Rundown and follow us on Instagram at The Reality Rundown. Follow the Instagram page for the podcast, Reality Right After. It's been going up lately. You guys are loving the clips, so follow us on there, join the conversation. I've been pulling comments and tweets from social and showcasing them on the pod. So if you want to be showcased on the podcast, mates, make sure that you're commenting on our Instagram page. Married to Medicine season 11.
Hot mess.
So Married to Medicine season 11, second season with Phaedra on it. Phaedra didn't end up coming to the reunion, and kind of she quit the show towards the end. Since Phaedra wasn't really part of the reunion, one thing that I will say is that Bravo does a really good job that when one girl is not here, it's kind of like they have a plan already just in case, and it's like, okay, if she's not coming, this is where we're gonna take the reunion. So it honestly, I don't be missing the girls that decide to rebel and not come. Like when Karen didn't show up, the girls still had a key. So they've been doing good with still finding their footing when it comes to some of the ladies not showing up. So because Phaedra didn't show up, we really didn't discuss her that much aside from that little, we saw that message that, well, it wasn't a message. She had filmed some confessionals and production aired them, and it was never before seen confessionals when she was dragging all of the girls. So thoughts on Phaedra's Married to Medicine run, her not making it to the reunion, her second reunion of Married to Medicine, saying that the girls are a bunch of mean girls, and kind of fleeing the show because now she has her spot back on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Katie, and you start.
Well, I think it was just another check for Phaedra, honestly. Did she have cute little moments there? Yes, but I feel like there was no need for even her to cross over at all. I think she did well on other shows that she was involved in since she's been off Real Housewives of Atlanta, but I feel like there was no need for her to really come to Married to Medicine and then leave in sporadically. And also it didn't really fit. And I felt like the first time she did it was to be like, well, these girls are so much better. They're not forcing you out of your marriages and all this stuff. And then to not show up at the reunion to give your final say so and to quit. And I really think if she didn't have another opportunity sitting on the table, she would have wrote it out with them or write it out with them. but I didn't see the point of her being there. She didn't bring back, the little fights that was going on their show. She didn't try to merge that, fix that. It's like she just created more mess. And then she had her ex-husband, his currently soon to be
Well,
ex-wife.
she
It
did
was just
have.
a mess. I don't see the reason why she came on, but collect your check and go, and that's what she did.
Kay, what do you think?
I mean, I agree. I mean, I'm with Phaedra though. Like, give me my private jet. I'm on the jet, and I'm going back to where I belong, which is Real Housewives of Atlanta. Like, to be quite honest, I agree with Katie. Like, I didn't feel like she brought anything to the show, but I also think that group of women on Married to Medicine are already cohesive, so it's hard to bring somebody else into it.
Mm.
And so she always just felt like she didn't fit to me. So again, she was just there collecting her check. I think it was her way back into Bravo land.
Mm-hmm.
And she did what she had to do. She said, "Okay, I'm done here. What? Give me what y'all told me y'all were going to give me, basically." And that's what she.
Right.
So listen, I'm
Listen,
happy for her. Move on.
it's
Next.
no shade to any of the Married to Medicine ladies because one thing for sure, I love me some Married to Medicine, but again, no shade. The way Phaedra walked out that show, honey.
Yes.
Yeah. It says
Bye.
that she got money. It says that she got money and she didn't need them.
Not only did y'all try to clock me, try to make it seem like I didn't have $40,000 to give y'all for a charity. Now I'm actually gonna leave y'all show and I'm leaving in a private jet when y'all all had to come here commercial because I am that bitch and don't play with me. That's what she said. Whether you like it or not, you gotta give it to her. That was a cute little exit.
Yeah.
She's again. We haven't seen her yet on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. We know that she comes in a little bit later, literally at the last 2 weeks of filming. So,
I mean, the girls can bring Apollo and his wife on there since they want him so bad.
Yeah. But like Wellington said, they are a dynamic group there, although they are very like crazy with each other. They
mm-hmm.
go well to each other. They started the show together. So just throw somebody else in the mix that wasn't like a friend of or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Although it was said Quad and Phaedra was friends, but we never saw Phaedra riding and dying for Quad.
Right.
So it just didn't fit. And I feel like Phaedra has a real spunky personality, and we didn't really get to see a lot of that. And I
Right.
think we
I
really want
agree.
to be in like a fun setting, etc. The Mean Girl comment lost me because she is up there in regards of Mean Girl,
Mm-hmm.
but I get what she was trying to convey.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a good fit.
No.
Well, listen, part 3 of the Married to Medicine reunion aired last week. And while we didn't recap the entire season on reality right after, I still feel like I needed to get into at least the last episode for the castmates. And listen, we're back on the stage. The screaming match continues between Simone and Quad. They tear into each other. Simone drops the bomb that Quad turns her back on the group while Quad fires back, accusing Simone of forgetting what it's like to be betrayed. It's getting so personal fast. Simone
Mm-hmm.
accuses Quad of only doing things for the cameras. And Quad hits back by bringing up Simone's missing dad, saying, "Honey, when your dad was missing, I was there for you." And then that just even gets Simone even more mad because she's like, "Exactly, the cameras, the cameras." Simone says, "You went there with the cameras. You never been anywhere without the cameras." Quad says, "You can't even take a picture without asking a producer for permission." Did y'all catch that?
Mm-hmm.
Did you think Simone was right to call out Quad for always having the cameras around, or is Quad justified in keeping some of these things private? Where do you stand when it comes to this heated argument between Simone and Quad, Kay?
Where Jackie was standing, nowhere, not saying nothing until it kind of like blew up, and then she had to pull her friend away, but nowhere. I'm about sick of Quad. I'm about sick of Simone and this whatever this beef is that they have, because I feel like they talk it out, then they
Mm-hmm.
go back to it. They talk it out, then they go back to it. It's like, baby, we tired of it. Okay, be friends or be enemies, but choose wherever it is that y'all want to be. And then as far as Simone saying this is your karma, you gave us your ass to kiss. We went and hung out with Greg. Like, I mean, I don't think they ever stopped hanging out with Greg. I mean, and she says her husband didn't, so I don't feel like she ever stopped seeing Greg. We just stopped seeing Greg, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and was it karma? I don't know if that's like, I don't know if you can orchestrate karma. Karma just kind of like comes on its own. Like y'all
Right.
played in that girl face, but Quad, if these ain't your friends and people that you want to share stuff with, then don't be on the show. That's where I stand.
Kadian?
I think Simone has trouble connecting coworker and friend. And when someone is being your coworker and still having empathy and sympathy as a friend and showing up for you, well, the cameras were recording you looking for your dad. You could have called Jackie, you could have called Heavenly, you could have called any other cast member to come on a stroll with you to look for your father. You felt the need to bring up my niece. I felt the need to bring up your dad. And, I'm not saying go tit for tat, but it's like you can't bring up something so devastating that happened to me and then I can't clock you on, well, I've been there for you. And you keep on saying, I'm not there for you. I'm not present. If she's consistently showing you you're just her coworker and you want more from her, leave her alone. She's not
Right.
giving it to you. You keep on wanting to force a relationship that does not happen, and you're not telling the audience what's missing. We're still just seeing you barking because at this point you're not yelling anymore. You're barking, and it's foolishness to me at this point. And you can't be so mad when she says, "Your daddy, I was helping you looking for your daddy." But then you sat so quietly and calmly and okay with bringing up something none of us needed to know that happened at Quad's house. That
Clock it.
wasn't public information that was on the show. It was, yes, reported in the blogs, etc. But your dad's stuff was recorded on the show.
That's a good
And
point.
and to me, it's also like you keep on forcing Quad to be open and this and that, but every time she tries to be, you turn around and throw it in her face. You said, I actually caught Simone lying a bit where she was like, "This is your karma, this is your karma." And then there was another clip where she was like, "Well, we've been friends with him. It was natural. They came around. It's nothing." But you're saying, like, we literally went to hang out with him. We saw his wife or his now whatever. We saw his wife. We liked her. Remember, Simone was running around saying, "Gregory's new girlfriend is gorgeous. She's pretty." All of these things to top
Lied.
Quad.
Well, I mean,
So
anybody
don't
try to
sit
put
here
it.
and act like you've never done anything to trigger this woman to not trust you or to not take a couple steps back away from you. When she said you as a friend during her divorce, you weren't there. You weren't there. Everyone on the cast rallied around you when you and Cecil almost got a divorce.
Right.
So it's like I feel like Simone is like that kind of forceful person that creates anxiety for you, and the best thing for you to do is just avoid her. And I think that's what Quad's been doing, and Simone's just not getting it.
Listen, the man, the big moment between the men, the guys are forced to address Greg's actions during the vibe check game that Andy's doing. Greg admits he was drunk and regrets what he said to T. Curtis tries to back him up, but King immediately calls him out. It's familiar for Greg to show women aggression, and he can't talk to Quad like that on my watch. King then gives Greg the side eye, like, not on my watch, sweetie. Like, you not about to talk to my lady like that. And Greg is like, I want an apology from her. King is like, well, you're gonna be waiting because if I were Quad, I want an apology too from you. Greg's apology to Quad was a mess, in my opinion. He wasn't even owning up to his behavior. Is King right to step in, or is he just trying to shield Quad from the truth? Do you feel like King's introduction to this mess has been natural? Because I do feel like some of the people were clocking him, like, at the reunion, like, like, try not to do too much, like, you just got here, like, calm down. And while I am rooting for Quad and King, and I always thought, like, up to part 3, I always thought that King not really stepped into the mess or like gave into the mess, that he was just being authentically himself on camera until he started commentating on the at the reunion about stuff that had nothing to do with him and giving his opinion. And I'm just like, oop, there he goes. The reality TV bug bit him, so he's starting to be shady and giving the producers what they want. Again, is King right to step in? Kadian?
I think King is trying to set a tone where it's like man to man with Greg. I think he's consistently trying to let Dr. G know. Instead of speaking the quad, especially because y'all always go at it. Y'all can
Right.
start calm and still go at it. Y'all can go at it and just keep on going at it. I think he's been trying to set that tone like, hey, I'm here now. I'm present in her life. I'm privy to some of the stuff that might have happened in y'all relationship. Obviously, he's a little biased and being on quad side completely as he should. That's her man. But I genuinely think that's what he keeps on trying to say, like, stop talking to her because every time y'all speak to each other, it goes to the gutter and y'all both lose control. So I think that's what he's just been trying to say. Like, just speak to me directly about anything you have to say to her. However, he lost me too a bit when he was like, she could say whatever she wants. You can't do that. But yeah, I think that's all he's been trying to say. Just speak to me.
Okay, if King was protecting you, would you be down with it?
I mean, any man is going to protect what's theirs, right? So, he's well within his rights to do so. However, you need to understand the woman that you're with, because even he said, she's drunk. She's just saying stuff. She's going to apologize tomorrow. So he knows how she is, but you can't just be drunk and saying stuff and think that people are not going to retaliate back to you, right? Because I felt like Greg wasn't really saying too much to her until she started going on and on and on. And then that's when they kind of like got into the back and forth. So it's got to be like, you don't say nothing, I don't say nothing. Right. And I'm going to hold my thoughts on King. I'm going to see next season because some tell me that some just ain't right. I don't know what it is. I mean, I'm not trying to wish nothing bad on them. Like, she loves it. Great.
It's your
I love
intuition.
I love that for her. But some ain't gonna be adding up, and I don't know that I get that feeling. But again, take up for your girl, but you also need to tell your girl, listen, like some of that stuff he was saying was out of pocket. Again, you don't need to say that in front of everybody else. Y'all had that conversation behind closed doors and let that be what it is. But I don't know. Greg is Greg, and you just got to learn.
Greg is a mess, though. Like, in my opinion, Greg, like, honestly, you really have to sit down again and rewatch the season, because some of the way that you be retelling this stuff and that you be recounting it in your head does not make sense. Because first of all, Greg, you over here talking about what is Sweet Tea gonna do if someone is approaching me? First of all, Sweet Tea was running to the problem while you were running away from King. So let's clock that.
Sweet Tea can be him, so I'm confused.
Like, you were running away from King, and Sweet Tea was running to go protect you. So stop trying to downplay her, trying to make it seem like she can't protect you. She is comeback trained, like she said, and she can probably whoop your ass. Let's keep it 100. First of all, you look like a punk, no shade, because you bugging the fuck out. My man, anybody try me like King tried him, you catching the fade.
Exactly.
Like, you have to run it.
They are doctors, though. You know what I'm saying?
They are doctors. They are doctors, but that's for production to make sure they got security and not let them fight. But show it. Show it.
I think Dr. G has a real big issue with knowing that he does start stuff and he inflicts people to get so angry. And I don't know how Sweet Tea has remained so calm.
I'm so turned off by that. Like, you're a punk.
He's frequently, every time he talks to people, he goes like in.
He's condescending.
yes, you don't have anything but to be like, oh, whoa, like, you know what I mean?
And you know the thing
And
is, he's short, so you know the
Okay, exactly.
the
he's very
Mm-hmm,
short.
mm-hmm.
He's a little
Yeah,
man.
that
the
syndrome.
Napoleon syndrome that these men be having. That every time, usually shorter men, they love to put people down to make themselves feel taller. And baby, you would never be taller. That's just the gag. So accept it, become a better person, and also you're a doctor of the mind, of the brain, of the
That's why some kind of patience he got.
like
Yeah.
I need to see him at work and
you a
act
mess. You gaslighting your wife.
fear.
You cannot be that
Hmm.
toxic as a husband, and you talking about you a psychiatrist. Like, what is
Right.
going on?
And that's the thing that lost me with him. He couldn't even recognize when his partner had his back.
Right.
He couldn't
Mhm.
even recognize her saying, I'm combat trained. I had your back. Like, no matter what was going on in that situation, I was coming to rescue you. I was
Right.
going to be there for
VT
you.
said it won't be no
I
fight to
don't
the
care
death.
who I had to fight. But he couldn't even recognize that she had his back simply because he has this big head and this little body and he's
Like,
this
don't get me
tall.
wrong. I'm not really. I get it. Married to medicine. These girls, everybody's doctors, whatever. But when you put in a doctor that is like a psychiatrist or a psychologist, whatever, the idea of having that type of doctor in the cast is always, I'm always apprehensive to it, because they can come in acting like they know it all and that they are the they know the answer, or they are the ones, the dictators of what's good and what's bad. But Dr. Mimi, I feel like she has it right. You know,
Yeah.
like the way
Yeah.
she looks
Mhm.
at these situations that are happening in front of her, she's
Mhm.
she's very unbiased, even though you can tell that she has an opinion deep
Mhm.
down in her
Yeah.
heart, but she's still very unbiased, and you can tell that she's a really good doctor when it comes to that, because the way that she's handling these conversations with these women. Now I'm looking at Greg and I'm just like, what are you doing?
Because he's consistently trying to fight and prove that he's a good guy. But we've already know so much history about you. And I'm not trying to say he's the worst person in the world. But there's so much history about you that we've seen and recognized, even to current day, about your reaction. You
Right.
could have treated Quad horrible. Your in Quad situation could have been what it is. But we now see you with a fresh start and a new
Right.
woman.
Mhm.
And you're still the same guy. So it's like, if you're not changing your stripes, bro, we gonna think you are that person. And you are mean, you are nasty, you do talk down to women, and you don't have the same energy for men. You don't.
Clock it. Um, Quad delivers an apology to Simone, but it feels a bit hollow. That whole time, Simone looks like she's waiting for the other shoe to drop. Quad tries to say it all about healing, but Simone is clearly skeptical about the whole situation. Simone says, and I quote, "I don't need your apology, I need accountability." Quad responds, "You're always talking about accountability, but when was the last time you apologized for all the shady stuff you did last year?" Was Quad's apology genuine, do you think, or was it just a tactic to get some peace at the reunion?
Quite apology to anybody is never genuine. I'm sorry. I don't care
Mm.
who she's apologizing to. I never feel that it's authentic because she never truly understands why they're asking her to apologize anyway. So
Mm.
I feel like sometimes she's just apologizing just to get it over with and be like, okay, let's move on. But I feel like maybe that's
Which
why
is
they.
funny because that's what she got mad about. Remember when
Mhm.
Heavenly told her, no, when Toya told her that Jackie only apologized to her to shut her up. So it's funny that you clocked that about Quad when people
That's why she's able to
say,
notice it with other people because she does it.
clock
Well,
it.
I see it a little different. I recognize what Kay's saying because I thought the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
but I think Quad apologizes without understanding that the apology does also come with understanding and taking accountability after. It's like she's like saying, "Yes, I know I did these things and I'm sorry, let's move on." But then
Mm-hmm.
she counters it with, "But you did this to me."
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's okay sometimes to apologize and say, my bad, I did this thing, and
And
wait,
leave it
or
at that.
just not
Yeah.
care for an apology for yourself after, but
Mm-hmm.
you take your ownership in whatever has been done. And that's the thing with her. She wants to apologize. Her apologies are genuine to me, but she wants something back in return. And to me, you can't do that. If you're sorry, you're just sorry.
Yeah,
Right.
but that's why I feel like it's not genuine. If you're only apologizing because you want to get an apology, then that's not genuine to me.
Yeah, she's
That's very
very
fair.
interesting. And to be completely honest, we saw Dr. Heavenly apologize to Contessa, and I feel like that was one of the most vulnerable moments that I've ever seen in Dr. Heavenly because it came across very genuine. You know, she took accountability. She said she fucked up, and she didn't give any buts or you did this or that. She just said, "Listen, I want to move on and I want to keep it pushing." I was actually very surprised, but again,
Well, Anthony.
a little bit feels inauthentic. And thank you, Katie, for clocking me because Dr. Heavenly is a homophobe and I should not be giving her any time. So
Well,
actually,
not even that. Heavenly will say sorry and then hop on her YouTube and counter it.
Right.
Well, I did
yeah,
say
she's a
sorry, but
mess.
you see why I did this? Like it's very all over the place with her, and I think she's a producer puppet, and that's
Oh, for
fine
sure.
to keep the show going. But some of the things that Heavenly says, I have to sometimes wonder if her frontal lobe is fully developed yet because
Mm.
it's just insane to me. And
Mm.
it's crazy because sometimes I'm like, are these people who they are on the show in real life too? Because if that's how Heavenly is in real life and she's not just playing a part for the show and ratings, then she needs to go see Dr. Mimi on the side.
Mm. Mm.
Sorry,
Nothing
Heavenly.
about Heavenly gives genuine. If nothing,
No,
nothing.
I I don't know, like Heavenly, you know, I used to be a Heavenly stan. You guys know that. Like I used to love Heavenly Down, but I've definitely seen a different side of Heavenly. I think that, you know, her homophobic comments really bother me as a gay man. Like I just
Girl,
one thing that I hate is like you use gay men in a way to service you in any way, and then when it's time to throw a dig you do it and you're nasty about it, and to me that's like so messed up because
it says who
honey,
she is.
like it's insane. And then you also have gay people in your life,
Ooh, wrong
so
road.
to like be clocking stuff, it's just like and being on your YouTube crashing out, talking about a bitch, a gay man, a woman. Like you're wild. You're
She's very.
wild.
And I'm not trying to cut you off because I feel like hearing it coming from you is most important, but to also even have that thought in your mind,
Like
I get
what?
you apologize, girl, but if you're not homophobic, if you're not
You wouldn't have
against
said it in the
people,
first place.
you wouldn't even think like that. It's low class that you even thought like that.
Yeah.
I didn't care too much for her before because she's
Vulgar,
so vulgar.
vile.
She's so vulgar in so many ways. And when it comes on to touching her and her life and whatever, it's like we're perfect over here. How
Right.
dare you?
Mm-hmm.
But I cannot respect anybody who feel the need to disrespect anyone
At the level
in
she does.
that manner.
Right. Right.
And
Anyways,
now I don't
the
even like her husband.
Okay, look in your
anyway,
household, girl.
the call is coming from inside the house. The guys start talking about defending their wives. Damon says the rule is you don't talk badly about a man's wife, and if you do, you better be ready to for the consequences. It gets real with when Eugene asks Greg why he didn't defend his wife properly. The guys seem to think Greg's handling of Quad was immature. Eugene says, and I quote, you should have defended her, but you didn't. So let's talk about that. Damon adds, and I quote, you gotta be a man of your house, not a puppet on a string. The shade towards Greg's lack of backbone was real from the men. Do you agree with the guys? Like, should Greg have done more to defend Qua? I mean, should Greg have had done more to defend Sweet Tea, or was he just justified in staying out of it? I do feel like Greg has this thing that it's like he's giving Sutton right now. Like, I raised hell during the season, and now I'm at the reunion, and I know that I got, so I don't got nothing to say, and I know that I'm wrong, so let me just stay quiet. And I'm glad that the men are trying to hold him accountable, and they all kind of agree. Like, I really like how the men handle this, specifically Dr. Damon, because he kept it real. Like he said, listen, there's a unspoken rule. Like, I'm not gonna disrespect your wife, and you're not gonna disrespect mine. We're allowed to get into conversations and discourse and light arguments with each other's spouses, because you see Cecil do it a lot. You see Eugene do it a lot, and it's never been disrespectful. But it's that thing where, like, don't cross that line where you're disrespecting my wife. And I think Greg crossed that line. And then, but then you don't also respect your own wife.
But see, this is why I think Greg needs to stop trying to shush T. Because when the women are doing something or saying something, then that's her. Let her respond. You know what I'm saying? Just like with the whole when they were on the trip with the quad thing, he kept on telling her, "Be quiet, be quiet, be quiet." No, you should let her respond so that you don't have to respond. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then
Right.
you won't be putting yourself in this situation. But I mean, I just need Dr. Damon to. He's
Well, Dr. G sets the tone for how his wife is being treated by his so-called friend group, right? Because
Yeah.
he was a part of their friend group before she came along. And I think, like Wellington said, if you are capable, because I don't think he is, if he was capable of having a conversation to lay the law down and say, hey, this is my wife, she's coming into our friend group, I love her dearly, but there needs to be some type of respect for her.
I
If
agree.
there's going to be no respect for her, we don't need to be around you guys,
At all.
And Simone was the first to go kneel in front of Sweet Tea when she was acting up at the reunion. Why couldn't he even had those conversations with Simone if he was so afraid to go have it with Heavenly because they might get into a conflict? He could have had a quick lunch with her and be like, hey Simone, like the way how Sweet Tea's coming home every day and telling me how y'all are acting, I don't appreciate it. Can you speak to the girls? Whatever. We've seen plenty of the husbands step in throughout the course of the show. Toya literally got into a physical fight, and Eugene still found a way to be able to calmly set the tone for that situation. I don't think Dr. G is capable, and that's why it has not happened.
Should Dr. G and Sweet Tea come back to the show?
No.
I'm gonna say yes because they brought him there. Because y'all shouldn't have brought him there. So now that y'all are done with them because y'all are finished trying to get back in quad, now you don't want them on the show. Absolutely not. They should stay. That's y'all.
The reason why I say no is because from what we've seen so far, it's not healthy towards their marriage. They're also working on trying to start a family. And I think the show not being healthy and being a big distraction, they shouldn't come back because to me, it's always going to be like, well, Sweet Tea, Dr. G's new wife is here, and Quad is his ex-wife. And no matter what, even if Quad and Sweet Tea try to find common ground and be cool and be friends, he's always going to have a problem with Quad, no matter what. The women also, they didn't genuinely became friends with her. So to me, why are you going to want to be around people who never genuinely even wanted you to exist in your space? It was only for the benefit of themselves. So don't do that to yourself. That's why I'm saying no, don't come back. But if you guys could all kumbaya and work it out during like off season, then sure, come back. But I don't want to see the same shenanigans for 8 more seasons. It's annoying.
Yeah. I think Married to Medicine is due an overhaul. We have to really put all the characters on the fire. Like, honestly, Married to Medicine was always a show that I never really needed a cast shakeup, because one of the things that makes Married to Medicine great is, like you mentioned, Kay, is that these are a group of friends and they've been this tight group of friends for years. But to be completely honest, like, this has ran its course because no shade to Miss Jackie, she did not say one word the entire reunion. And even when Andy looked at her specifically for an answer, she avoided getting messy. She avoided even saying anything. She was just like, I'm not in it. And I'm just like, Jackie,
first chair for what?
At this
first
point, what's the point of even being on this show? You're not doing anything.
You know what, Wellington and Kay? I think Jackie, after all that stuff that she did,
Oh.
I think it was last season, maybe the season
Mm-hmm.
before, with black woman mortality
Yep.
and all of
That's why
that
she's scared
stuff.
to talk now.
She's
Mm-hmm.
scared to talk.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, to me, if you don't have nothing wrong to say, you could speak because you're educated in that department, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You hold your doctor badge up in everybody's face, correct?
Clock
You
it.
like to little dog every woman that comes on the show that's not to your standard, correct? So
Clock
you
it.
should be able to open your mouth and speak. And you brought up the lemon squeeze and all these things from like the first season, I think, of the show. And you don't have it in you. You don't have the bandwidth in you to get your best friend to chill out a bit and to bring back the women together. And that's one thing I appreciated about Nene Leakes. She always knew how to bring women back together and bring the girls in to create the show and let it run its course till they were done filming for the season. Jackie does not have the bandwidth because she's a mean girl, and anything that comes out of her mouth is going to be mean and nasty, and that's why she can't say nothing.
Okay. Should Jackie stay or go?
Jackie needs to go. I mean, and I'm not gonna say permanently go, but we need to see how we can shake stuff up. We need to get some fresh faces in there, because you're not doing anything. I mean, so if you're not gonna do anything, then why do we need you here? No,
Right.
absolutely not. Mm-mm.
All right. So let's actually, just because I said stay or go, let's actually play that game. Stay or go. I'm gonna give you the name and you tell me stay or go.
All right,
Toya.
Stay.
Tori can stay. Mm-hmm.
Simone.
I
Bye.
I feel like you need to have one mature woman. Like, she's not mature, but like,
So you're saying if Jack, so you're saying if Jackie's gone, keep Simone.
yeah.
Age, got it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Older.
Older.
Yeah.
Got it. Mature lost me.
Ooh.
I'm glad you got where I was going, but I didn't want to say it that way. I didn't want to be Jackie and say the wrong.
Dr. Heavenly.
Go. She needs the season off. Go.
Friend of.
I agree with you, Kadian. Friend of. I think that she, unfortunately, I do believe that Heavenly does bring a lot to the show, and she is willing to do the things that production needs her to do, and we cannot deny that drives conversation and conflict in the show when we need it. But I do think she needs some humbling, which is why I think she should get she should be a friend of for.
Up down a bit.
If she's gonna be friend of, if she's gonna be friend of, I don't want to see her on the screen every week either.
Ooh. Yeah, she does a lot for social media to keep on talking about the show, and she asks questions that we, the audience, should be asking them. So she's very thought provoking in that way, in that manner. But like I said, since that homophobic stuff, like if she's here or not here, I could care less.
Yeah, actually, fire her. Sweet Tea.
I feel like Sweet Tea need another season to see.
Sweet Tea without Chris.
Right, that's what I was gonna say. Because I feel like her and Quad could get somewhere. They might not be the best of friends, but I do think they can get somewhere. But let's agree, we don't need him.
Her without Dr. G, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Quad
can stay. Quad irks me, but we need somebody, so she got to stay. If we're gonna get rid of her, she got to stay.
And Quad has a lot of story ahead of her. Listen, getting with King and this relationship taking serious. There's marriage in the horizon. There's kids in the horizon, and all of the ups and downs in between that. So I think that when it comes to these like ensemble cast shows, specifically when it comes to bringing personal story, Quad kind of hit the jackpot with King. Like she kind of revitalized her new story that she's able to give this show. So in a way, she should come back because there is story there that she can give the show. Whereas like other people, Jackie, there's no story.
I think Quad should stay too. Not only just for the storylines ahead, but Quad brought something to the show that we all missed when she wasn't there, which was which was a little dramatics. Like not the dramatics of like how Heavenly brings the dramatics, but the dramatics of like her monologues and all of those moments. And even the reads. Like we really get those from Quad. So I would say she stays.
Yeah, no, we do need the dramatics. Since the season is over and this was part 3 of the Married to Medicine reunion,
Man,
I wanted to
Dr. Mimi just out of here.
Oh, I mean, true. I was looking at the main cast photo, my bad.
Okay.
Dr. Mimi. I think she stays.
It felt flat.
Yeah, I think she could stay.
No, but I do like Dr. Mimi's retweet. Anyways, I do like Dr. Again, I mentioned this earlier. I do like Dr. Mimi's way of being able to bring the group back together. She has Heavenly in therapy. That's something that came up at the reunion. Heavenly is working with her, and to be honest, it seems like it's working a little bit because she kind of like listens to Dr. Mimi. I do see there's a little bit. I'm gonna make a prediction. I think that if Dr. Mimi stays, she's gonna have a problem with Toya.
I think with Sweet Tea as well. I believe Sweet Tea did mention like it was basically seemed like Dr. Mimi was there for her, but not really. And I feel like Dr. Mimi felt flat because during the Quad, Dr. G, Sweet Tea, King debacle, she was all over the place for me. And I thought she did well at the reunion. But during the show and taping and all of that, it fell flat for me. I think everything she's doing off camera now with Heavenly and therapy, great. I think she should probably see all of them as clients. But I don't think she needs to be on the show. Like I said, her husband. She might
just be like. She might need to like. You remember when in the Real Housewives of New Jersey they brought in that therapist that one time, and to help them in I think season 3 when they all went to that cabin and they were like trying to do.
But they also did that in Atlanta too. Remember?
Yeah. So like, Dr. Mimi might need to just be the resident psychiatrist for the show that they bring out at the reunion to answer questions and help the cast get through it. That would be hilarious. No, okay. So ready? Who do you think is the most likely to throw a drink in someone's face?
On this show, again, I think Sweet Tea in Quad's face.
I think Contessa. Oh my God, I didn't say Contessa. Contessa, stay or go.
Bring her back.
Go. Since you wanted to be throwing up flags underneath Miss, what's her name?
And Marie. Contessa.
I was trying to remember her name while it's in.
Contessa. Contessa.
What are you doing,
you're right.
sister?
You're right.
What are you doing?
Contessa, we're gonna. I'm calling your name to the carpet, Miss Thing.
I liked you way too much before.
I did, and you know what? Your teeth are biracial.
Wellington.
Moving forward.
Listen, I liked her a lot before
that flag. Yeah,
that's true.
I really needed answers, but I that was enough for me.
You know what? After I saw it, I'm like, actually, is it far-fetched? She went to the army. She they kind of like drill you with a lot of that patriotism a lot. So, yeah, it's corny though because I just don't understand how you can advocate for black medicine in the saying in the stands that we as black people are beneath the podium of like health, and you knowing that as a doctor. Anyways, Contessa, get it together because maybe as a friend, just because of that flag, you can stay as a friend. But
Okay.
I thought it was real cool when Dr. Simone went down the line and she said something about each and very, and then when she ended with Contessa, she's like, "Bitch, you're back." Like I thought that was really cute, but it's funny if like they fire her.
I know.
Because
You see, the thing I liked about Contessa is her storylines. And I thought she brought a piece of the show where it was a little bit raw and some of the things that she would talk about. And like I said, I liked her a lot before I saw that. I don't know, maybe after you see this, hopefully you see this, you could send us a DM or make a video. I don't know, but you need to explain yourself for that.
Explain yourself.
yeah,
I
for
liked
sure.
you way too much and you lost me big time.
Right, right. Who would you trust the least with your secrets?
Heavenly.
Heavenly. Unanimous. Who is
Tell Heavenly I breathe oxygen.
who is the most likely to bring up someone's personal business at the worst time?
Simone.
Heavenly.
You got a point with Simone though, because she did it, and Heavenly too. They both are guilty of that. Who do you think is the most shady, but in the best way?
Toya.
Interesting answer. I would say Quad.
I was gonna say Quad too because
cool.
Quad is kind of like fun shade. She gives that, she can be mean and stuff, but she gives that a lot of fun shade, and that's again something I do like about her.
Who would you least want to get into a fight with on the show if you were on this show?
Sweet Tea, duh. Absolutely.
I would say Heavenly because Heavenly will say things about your deepest parts of you that will make you so angry.
Right.
It gets you out of character. Because when she brought up that stuff about Contessa's mom, and even like going all the way back to like saying your mama to Mariah, all of those things, like I just feel like you speak about my mom.
Yeah, I ain't scared to have it. Bring it on, honey.
Yeah, no. No. So her.
Who is always playing the victim even when they're not in the wrong?
Even when
they're in the wrong.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
I'm about to say when they're not in the wrong. Quad,
Heavenly and Quad, they tie for that.
Maybe
Simone. It's a layered cake.
It's a layered cake.
Yes. Heavenly will be at the bottom. Sometimes I know Heavenly thinks she does. Heavenly knows she does stuff, so she will
right.
Girl, we're forgetting Jackie.
She's the cherry on top of the cake. We forgetting her because she ain't on the show no more. We trying to tell her something.
Child. Who do you think is the most likely to be the last one standing?
Simone.
You ready for my answer?
Or Toya.
Me too. I was gonna say Toya.
I think Toya too. I'm sorry. I loved Toya this season.
I did too.
I think sometimes Toya gives me a mixed performance, but this season she was solid from beginning to end. And something that I saw in Toya this season is the fact that she was able to really call it how it is. There was nothing really in her heart against anybody. And I think this was the first time. Toya does a really good job at not being the center of the drama, but still moving the needle. And that's something that she did this season. And Toya, for that, you get an A+ from me.
Yeah.
I think this was her best season.
I agree.
This was her best season.
She gets Best Supporting Actress this season. I think Toya has found her rhythm on this show this season. And y'all know I've had my ups and downs with Toya and having to see certain things with Toya.
Right.
But I think this season she finally recognized certain things. And that could also be because maybe they're financially okay now and there's less other things that she has to think about. And she could just focus on being that fab girl and a mom and a wife, and that's it, and go do her tennis and her winery. But
you better not bring Anila back.
This was the first seasons I have Well, maybe I do have one complaint, but I really enjoyed her this season.
I enjoyed her too. What's one thing you do differently if you were in charge of the next season of Married to Medicine?
I will have to shake the cast up. Like we can't continue with this cast the way that it is. Like you gotta shake it up so that way we can get some new drama. Like it's
Yeah.
just the same drama. You need something new, and in order to do that, you gotta bring in new people.
I also think.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Katie.
I was gonna say, let's bring Tammy and the ex from Curtis's past in. Really shake things up.
That'll
Let's
get Dr.
go
Jackie
gutter
off
with
the
it,
show.
guys. I'm just kidding. I agree, Kay. I'm really just kidding, but I agree, Kay. I think
Why not though? Get messy.
I think a good cast shakeup is definitely necessary, but I also think they need to go back to what the core of this show was also like the Married to Medicine and how important that was to deliver to the community. I feel like that was really lost this season. I loved and enjoyed when they would go to different spaces and places and really put their all.
That's
I
true.
thought the charity idea was great, but they made it all about Phaedra not giving, but Phaedra did give. Like it really, really rubbed me the wrong way because the core of the show is here's these doctors, here's
And
these
they
wives.
always do such a good job with at least doing one big community event. And I do feel that this season that fell short. I will agree with you on that.
Lackluster.
They tried to do that part, but they ain't go right.
Yeah, and I know that they sprinkled in a couple educational moments, specifically with Dr. Jackie and going into the White House and all of this stuff. But yeah,
I'm gonna stop you right there, Wellington, because that was fraud. I think Jackie did that more so to brag about being around the vice president at the time. I think that was a brag moment. I feel like coming off of last season with what happened with her, this was her moment to correct everything, highlight the importance of this.
Honey, Dr. Jackie called in them favors. She says, someone get me to the White House. Because I have an image.
E.P. Harris should have hung up her phone.
Ooh. Ooh, child. Lord Jesus, Married to Medicine season 11. It's been already 11 years of this show. I'm interested to know, do you guys think there's a possibility that Mariah Huq could ever join the show again?
She needs to come back. Absolutely.
I can only wish. I would love that.
Me too. And maybe that's the shakeup we need, bringing her back.
Right. I mean, I don't understand what's the holdup there. I don't think that Mariah left in a way where like she was disgraced from the network, you know? So I would love to see Mariah back as well. I think that the longer we go without her, the more that it becomes like a she's never gonna be back situation. The only thing is that there is this thing when it comes to some of the girls that after they leave and they come back with the fear of, oh my God, I don't ever want to be fired again. And they start acting like Tamra. Yeah, and that's really like one of the things that worries me about reintroducing some of the women that have been fired for some time, because truly they want to be in front of the camera so bad. They actually want to be on the show so bad. So then I feel like they start putting on for the camera just because they never want to be on the chopping block again. And it's just like, that's my only worry. But I do feel like Mariah is a natural. Mariah is the originator of this. Another thing that I would love to see is enough time has passed. Introduce a new Married to Medicine city.
I was about to say that we can get, because I feel like they should have continued with the, what was it, the LA one,
right?
The one out of California. Like I feel like they should have continued, but maybe we need a Married to Medicine New York or a Married to Medicine Miami, and we could put Dr. Nicole on there.
That would be amazing, actually.
I would really enjoy either Miami or New York. There's so much that happened in New York during like the pandemic and the after effects of it all now. there's always so much happening in New York. And the thing about people here and their careers is you might be a doctor, but you're a socialite. You're into so many things when you live in New York City. And I would love to see how that would go, but it has to be done correct. And I think, like the both of you said, it would need that Mariah sprinkle on it. I know Contessa kind of led the LA situation, but we need the originator back to show these girls the formula and how
Mhm.
to act. I would also really enjoy if Mariah came back on Atlanta there and figured out or help us to figure out the quad situation and help us figure out the Dr. Simone situation as well.
Yeah, Mariah has a couple. If she comes back, there's a couple sit downs that Mariah is due.
Absolutely.
On to well, yeah, I would love a new Married to Medicine franchise. I think that there's people out there, there's people out there that can give us a good show. And also, like, I hate that, like, I love the concept of Married to Medicine, and I hate that it takes a whole full year for me to see another show like that. You know, like, franchise it. I think
Yep.
the formula is great, and why is it only Atlanta? Like, I feel
Yeah.
like that's also another reason why sometimes we get so tired of these ladies and their
Yeah.
storylines is because
Mhm.
it's the same thing over and over, and we don't get no break from that format in another way. And adding a new franchise might be the answer to that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Castmates, let me know what you guys think. Should Bravo put out another Married to Medicine franchise? Should Bravo recast Married to Medicine Atlanta? Should the same cast come back? Should there be a shakeup? Should Jackie leave? Should Jackie leave?
The
Should
thing is, she
Jackie
wouldn't
leave?
be missed. She wouldn't be missed.
I want the castmates to let me know down in the comments.
Please do.
She wouldn't be missed. She wouldn't be missed.
As we wrap up this wild reunion, we've seen some major apologies, shady moments, and way too many attempts at reconciliation that just felt awkward. From Quad's new man to Greg's ridiculous shirt reveal, and also that horrible performance. Can we talk about it?
Let's not.
He's like the male Ashley Derby.
Okay, I was just about to say he's giving Ashley, and we don't even want to give it the attention because we don't want to hear it no more.
Did you peep how I included it in my outro and I didn't make it a segment? This reunion has given us a whole new level of drama to discuss. It's clear the group may never fully recover from the fights and the shady moves. I'm really eager to see where Simone and Quad go. But hey, the drama never truly ends, does it, when it comes to Married to Medicine? Make sure that you are subscribed to our channel and that you're following us at Reality Right After. And make sure that you are tuned in because here, this is where we discuss the real tea, the real drama, the real shade, and we will get down to the analysis that you need to hear about these shows. Make sure to leave us a review higher, and with more energy than that performance from Dr. Greg. I love you guys. See you next week.
Bye. Thanks
On Reality Right After. Thank you guys for coming. I love you guys so much. Oh my God.